Hello, hello. Welcome to another installment of our amazing Influential Freedom Summit speaker series, highlighting the authorities, experts, impactors, and all around disruptors to their respective industries who are coming to grace the stage at this powerful experience January 26th and 27th here in sunny and warm, for those of you up north. Yes, I am twisting your arm on weather. Warm Tampa, Florida. So head on over to beinfluential.com to grab your tickets if you haven't been smart enough to grab them yet. So I'm so excited for our amazing guest today, because not only is he going to be bringing some amazing perspective to our stage, some powerful insights and expertise, but he is also one of our premier sponsors. So if you are interested in the VIP dinner, he is the one that is going to be wining and dining you into having a fabulous time. So welcome, Claudio Gambin.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You're like, well, damn, how do I follow that up?
I know. I mean, like, I'm pumped for the wining and dining. That's going to be the fun part.
Right?
Yeah.
Between hanging out with all the speakers on Wednesday and then the wining and dining at the amazing VIP dinner that I am still excited to get all the deets on from your team. You guys have been absolutely
we finalized
phenomenal.
that today.
Yeah. Yay! I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear all about it. I know it's going to be a really good time. But I mean, that's one of the things for me. It's every time I go to an event, you know, the big ones are great. They all have their purpose and their place, you know, the rah-rah, the motivation that just get poured into. However, I personally am a fan of the really intimate ones where I get that time to deeply connect with the genius of the speakers. And that's something that's always really important to me. So that's why we curate so much exclusivity around our events. It's only 100 seats total. We've got 35 for the VIP, which obviously that's not what's available. The VIP is almost sold out.
Well, so. That's, you know, what I like about the small events and in the sea of events, right? Like, I feel like that's part of our culture today, which I love, right? Because the self-development space is really blowing up, which can only do good for the most part, outside of, unfortunately, some of the bad. But if you're at an event with 10,000 people, how do you really go deep? You can't really do it. But at events like this, where not only are we having the opportunity for the speakers to get together before the event to really collab and make sure that they're vibing, right? I think that's huge. But then we go to an event that's unique, it's small, it's intimate, where you can't just talk about a concept. We can go deep with a client. We can go deep with a member. We can go deep with just somebody we've never met and just make an actual impact. You know, I love the opportunity to be able to sit and not say, hey, here's a cool strategy, but here's a cool strategy, and here's how you personally should probably look into doing it.
Oh, yeah, right. That's the best, when you have that space to have these engaging conversations with the speakers, to ask those questions, to say, okay, hey, here's my situation. Or even when we do the masterminding time, the Q&A panels or the breakout sessions, to say, hey, all right, expert, amazing zone of genius, bring it over here and help me figure out how to solve this problem, or how do I strategize implementing this plan so it just happens quickly and smoothly. I like to say, you know, we're doing the mentality and the mechanics, the results and the relationships all in one experience.
That's why I wanted to be a part of it. Because how many events do people go to where they leave motivated, right? Which is an external stimuli that's going to last hopefully 24 hours, right?
If
no, like if that, right? Like by the time you wake up the next day, you're still hitting the snooze clock and you're still not getting it done. But you can't hide from mechanics. That's it. You can't hide from it, period. So in my opinion, coming to something like this, you are already making the right step, right? By making the choice to be in the room, you've already identified yourself as somebody who wants to grow. And then you put gasoline on that fire, and then you actually get true impact and you get real results.
So good. So let's let the audience know what kind of results they can expect listening to you. If you could take a bit to introduce yourself, a bit about your zone of genius, what you do, who you serve. And then after that, we'll get into a bit of a teaser about what you're going to be bringing to the event specifically, other than whining and dining.
First off, I'm so excited to be whining and dining because I'm on like a no alcohol, very strict diet that ends on the 25th of January. So, I'm very
before you go to Morocco.
Yeah. So that was exactly right. Like I'm doing the event. I'm having a good time at the event. I get on the plane and I go ride dirt bikes in Morocco. So our firm is GFG Solutions. We're business consultants, and we operate in the space of driving very specific strategic advice to business owners on really kind of three main pillars. We're looking at risk management. We're going to talk to them about that. We're going to talk to them about how to make sure no matter what happens, they're protected. Their assets are bulletproof. So how you own things, where you own things, how you should structure your organizational structure, that's one pillar. And as we kind of start the year off, making sure that your foundation is super solid is a really great place to be. Two, we talk about taxes, right? Your partnership with Uncle Sam is likely the largest bill you have. If you are not taking a proactive approach in that space, you are missing out. It's a zero-sum game, guys. If you're spending money in one thing, you are not spending money somewhere else. So if you're giving Uncle Sam 30%, 40%, you are not taking that capital and employing more people, developing your brand, growing your business. So our job as tax strategists is to make sure that you are optimizing that space, finding every single possible solution you can to minimize your partnership, and then take the capital you saved and double down on yourself. And that's really the third pillar for us, is doubling down on yourself, making sure that your balance sheet is as optimized as it can be. We're going to talk about, I don't want to get into the teaser, but we're going to talk about what to expect in 2023 from an overall economic outlook and how you can prepare yourself to thrive, right? We don't want to simply survive. If you're at this event, you're not here to survive. You're here to thrive. So we're going to talk about what steps can you take mechanically, logistically, proactively to really take the next 12 to 18 months and add zeros, add layers, stack bricks to your overall empire.
That is huge. And it is something that and I'll just speak to myself, not let alone so many of the other entrepreneurs that I know, that this is something I think too many of us think of focusing on too late in our journey. I don't think people, and I definitely didn't, again, coming from poverty mindset and, generational money issues, think to strategically set things up. It was more just fly by the seat of my pants, in the early days of my business. So the fact that we're bringing this to the table at any time is such an amazing opportunity to implement these skills and these strategies to really maximize. And especially as we're going into the new year with so much economic upheaval, this is absolutely vital. Oh, there we go.
Not sure what happened there.
Hey, we're back in. It's all good. No worries. Little freeze action. It happens. So what did you hear up to?
I don't remember.
Okay. Because you're like, oh, fuck, technical problems.
Oh my God, yeah.
No, I was, so when you went off, I just froze. I just kept talking about how absolutely vital that is. So many entrepreneurs, think about this stuff too late in the game, right? So, right. And what I was saying, speaking for myself, how coming from poverty and generational money issues, I didn't think about it. It was just fly by the seat of my pants, kind of reactive with, okay, money comes in, invest it. The idea of really taking into consideration how I'm forming my entities, how I'm implementing tax strategies to reduce my tax liability. Absolutely vital. And the sooner we can bring this into play, the better. And then also understanding with all the economic upheaval of that's happening right now, really getting a good, clear picture of what to expect and how to plan and prepare to, like you said, thrive in the new year. It's just absolutely amazing.
Well, as business owners, we don't have the margin to, right? Like, let's face it. Years 0 through however long it takes to get you out of startup mode, it is survival, right? Like, you are simply surviving. There's no room for optimization. But once you get out of startup mode into growth mode, you can't go any bigger unless you choose to optimize, and that's something that I go through our companies, and we have several different portfolio of companies, and it's impossible to scale without optimization, because you can only trade dollars for hours and hours for dollars for so long.
That is amazing. And I mean, it's the exact same stuff that I speak to for leaders, that we cannot scale our impact as leaders by, they want to add additional revenue streams, grow their organizations, maybe switch from operator to owner so they can start speaking on stages or put their book out or do all these other things. And it's like, look, we've got to break out of hustle because you've been tied to finite resources of time, energy, attention, and money. And now you have to leverage and optimize your leadership and choose to invest wisely so you get a bigger ROI.
That's it. You do it on the human side and I do it on the balance sheet side.
Yep. Yeah. And we both affect the organization, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. So cool. Any other teasers, tidbits, or insights that you want to share about what you'll be talking about, who you're going to be bringing with you to the event, or any of the other fun stuff you have in store?
Well, first and foremost, we've got a lineup that like I'm excited to participate as a speaker and a listener. Like the just, it's a bunch of heavy hitters with a lot to bring. It's pretty incredible how much we're packing into the short amount of time we'll be together, right? If you're not VIP, I don't. You guys are just kind of like missing out, right? Because it's cool to like be at the event, but then like we get to go have dinner and like break bread and like really get into the weeds. I don't think there's a better opportunity. And then it's not just me, right? I'm bringing my top 3 guys with me. So Keith is coming. He's really like my right hand as far as advisors. Michelle's going to be there. She's a badass in the women and wealth space. I've got Antonio coming. He's another badass. So like we have leverage there for impact. We're coming in with knowledge. We're dropping some good takeaways, and then we're going to have the team there to be able to answer questions. Because if there's 100 people in one of me, I can only answer so much, right? But if there's 4 of us, we can just give more. We can deliver more. And then if you're at VIP, we're not going to sit together, right? Every single consultant is going to sit at a different table. So we have round table discussions. And then when the wine starts flowing, the real questions come out and the real answers come out too, right?
Oh, that is the best, especially when it comes to tax strategy, when people are just like, so can I write off my hair and my nails? Can I write off my suit?
I wouldn't do this, but
yeah, I love those conversations. They're always so funny. That is the best.
Absolutely.
That is the
and then
best.
Again, that's
I'm
just
so
like,
excited.
How many times can you pay to be in the right room? Right? It's not often that you can literally pay to be in a room of other like-minded individuals that are looking for growth, that have answers to questions that you have. I don't know. That's just, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and to be in the right room to where you actually get access, because I've been to some events where, I was in the room with people who've been on Shark Tank and stuff like that. But the way they had it set up, even though it was still kind of intimate, you just didn't get, they still kind of kept them separated and segregated. It wasn't the engaging, hey, all the speakers are hanging out and participating.
Yeah.
Like we've got it, and I always tell everybody, I was like, this room You're going to be 1 degree of separation from just about anyone of influence on the planet, just with the relationships of all of the people who are on the stage speaking.
Mm-hmm. I know some of them personally, and it's true. It's
right?
true. Yeah,
it is. I'm like,
true.
we've definitely got some heavy hitters, and it's just
validate that one for sure.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. It's the mentality, the mechanics, the results, and the relationships. And it's amazing. I mean, Scott Simon said it. He's like, I still have amazing relationships and partnerships and collaborations going from people he met at our event back in May. And he's like, it's just amazing. You know, just amazing. So
absolutely. And again, it's being in a room, like you come to an event like this, you're going to meet people that are there to grow as well, right? And that's the kind of people you want on your bench. That's the circles you want to be in. And you have issues and you make those friends, text them. The relationships there are not there just for you to do business with. They're for there to pick you up when you got punched in the face. They're for there to help you celebrate a big deal you just closed, right? That's what I love about these intimate rooms is if it's 10,000 people there, can you really build relationships? No, right? You're gonna about to go as deep as a puddle. But if you have a small room like this, I don't know, like I feel like at these type of events, you know, this is one of 3 that I want to attend to regularly. The friendships are lifelong.
That's amazing. I mean, I couldn't even begin to ask another layer to why should someone make it a point to come to this event? Like you've already covered it so well, you know, because I mean, everybody's throwing events, you know, thankfully we're out of COVID and back to real life and getting to have these in-person events and get together and do this work. And I'm having to pull events off my calendar right now because there's just so many. And there's so many that I want to go to. And so I'm just curious if there's anything else. I mean, you hit on all the main key points of why someone needs to get to this one. So any final thoughts on anybody who's just been kind of waiting to get their ticket?
It's Tampa. Tampa is the fastest growing city in Florida and one of my favorite places. So I don't know. That's all I got. I gave you all the content. You know,
I know you did.
The why. How about this? I'll be there. I'm going to have a shaved beard. I'm going to have a fresh cut. I'll be there. How about that?
You'll be there. We get to break bread. We get to have a good time. And, you know, I think that's the thing. Like for those of us who live here in Florida full time, I mean, work is just different. You know, the networking is different. The lifestyle is just different. You know, it's so much more free and casual and light and airy. And it's just a totally different experience than when I lived up north. And so I think it's a really, really fun to come and get to experience that level of not just business, not just relationships, but even the lifestyle. You know, there's something to be said for why Tampa is the fastest growing city in Florida. And on top of it, why there's so much business in Tampa. So for those who are looking to come down, make some of those relationships to expand and grow your business network, this is definitely the opportunity to do it. So, well, thank you so much for joining me. Obviously, if you've not been over there to get your tickets yet, beinfluential.com. We are 3 weeks away. So it's getting down to crunch time and those seats are selling out. So VIP is almost sold out. We've still got some general admission, so get on it. And we will see you January 26th and 27th at the Freedom Summit. Thank you so much for joining us.
See ya.